Good evening and welcome to Empire Stadium, Wembley, for the final of the Daily Mirror International Tournament. Tonight we meet and greet the two deadliest, oldest rivals in World Speedway. England, the host nation, leading the parade there, and their rivals this evening, Sweden. The Swedes, the Viking invaders from Scandinavia, at home here at Wembley, more so than probably any track in the world, including their home tracks in Stockholm, Gothenburg and Malmo. These teams have come through 6 tough qualifying matches against the crack sides in the world. They've come through a very, very tough semi-final on Wednesday, and here they are, the young English Lions squad, the host nation, slightly the favourites tonight. The English Lions coming here now, a very young side, a formulating side, a nervous side, on parade at Wembley. Many big night debutants in this side. English Speedway regrouping, regathering its resources, and really they have the crowd behind them this evening, and they're going to need them because the Swedes are absolute dynamite at Wembley. The last time they were here as a team was in 1971 in the World Team Cup, which they won. And so now we meet the teams. First of all, the Swedes. At number 1 from the Pool Pirates, the young blonde bombshell Christer Lofqvist, 4th in the world final here in September. Number 2, a late inclusion in the Swedish side, replacing the injured Bent Janssen we have from the Oxford Rebels, Hasse Holmqvist. Number 3, the Crown Prince of Swedish Speedway, one of the really outstanding riders in the world today, Anders Michanek from the Reading Racers and Getting Garner in Stockholm. Number 4, the most experienced, one of the most experienced young riders in the Swedish side, Soren Sjösten from Bellevue, Manchester. Number 5, Bent Persson from Cradley Heath in Sweden. We saw him finish 2nd in the world final here last September. Number 6 with the Viking Warbeard, the veteran of the squad, the skipper of the squad, Ollie Nygren, who first started riding over here in 1950. And next to him, the youngest member of the squad at 20, Tommy Janssen from Wimbledon. At 18, he was the youngest world finalist ever. And the number 8 man, the very tall figure, the lanky figure of Bent Larsen from Sheffield Tigers. And so now we move across to the English Lions, desperate to try to follow their soccer counterparts to World Cup glory. Len Silver, the team manager, who has really inspired this young England side. Ray Wilson, the number 1 and skipper, the inspiration of the side, the British champion. So much depends on him this evening. Number 2, his partner from Swindon Robins, Martin Ashby. At number 3, we have from the Halifax Dukes, Eric Bucock, a world finalist, one of the senior statesmen of the squad. At number 4, the whiz kid of the side, Peter Collins. We saw his fantastic race at Sheffield when we saw the England-Sweden qualifying match when he won it on the last race. This is John Louis, fantastic support. John Louis from Ipswich, Tiger Louis, one of the real key men of the England squad. At number 6 from Kings Lynn, Malcolm Simmons, his first big Wembley occasion. And at number 7, the blonde bombshell, also from Kings Lynn, Terry Betts, on his first big major Wembley occasion. So an comparatively inexperienced English squad. The Swedes have all ridden here. They all know the Wembley track. They love it here. And we have in this vital first race in the final of the Internations tournament at Wembley Stadium, coming into picture there in the darker coloured helmet for England, Martin Ashby. Martin Ashby for Swindon and England, and his partner there, Ray Wilson, on the inside. Grid 1 is the inside, grid 2 next to him. Then we have 3, and on the far outside, that's grid 4. So we have Wilson there, the familiar digging foot of Wilson, just nervously trying to find some dirt, some grip. This is his usual little routine on the starting grid. We have Wilson in 1, we have Ashby in 3, we will be having Hasse Holmqvist, the latecomer in this Swedish squad, replacing the injured Bent Janssen in the striped helmet, just coming in to grid 2, and on the far outside we have Christer Lofqvist, the little contortionist fireball from Pool Pirates, in his favourite outside grid here at Wembley. Last September we saw him really roaring away from the outside grid. All important here, England versus Sweden, Heat 1, Wilson, Holmqvist, Ashby, Lofqvist. Here they go. Lots of nerves, still pushing and rushing about, and again Lofqvist made a good one. It's floated Wilson on the inside. Wilson's come through on the inside. The 2 Swedes are tucked in behind him, and Ashby's been left, but it's Ray Wilson for England round that first corner in front. Wilson, then Lofqvist, then Holmqvist. Ashby coming charging under Holmqvist, hoiks him out of the way. They're in no mean style at all. So it's England now in 1st and 3rd. Wilson, Lofqvist buzzing around Wilson's back a little bit. Ray Wilson in authoritative position there, and Ashby came through on that bottom corner. Still Lofqvist and Wilson. Lofqvist trying very hard. A beautiful picture there as they're coming sideways through the pit corner. but it's Wilson for England, then Lofquist. In third place, Ashby, and the battle really here looks like being all up in front because Lofquist is really having a dabble at Ray Wilson. He's just waiting for him to try and make a mistake. I don't think he's going to. Wilson looking in terrific command. The young skipper from Leicester, he's been an inspiration right through this tournament, and it looks like he's going to get England off to a brilliant start here at Wembley. Lofquist trying to the outside line there, finding no joy at all. Wilson stretched a bit of a lead on him now. They're on the last lap, round the last corner. Wilson is going to win heat 1 for England. Wilson over the line first for England, second Lofquist, third Ashby. That is a 4-2 points heat win for England, so England goes straight into the lead, 4-2 after heat 1. Heat 3, and there we have coming out for England, the hero of the hour, 19-year-old Peter Collins, one of the outstanding young prospects in the world from Bellevue, Manchester, a former grass track champion. He won this corresponding fixture in the international tournament league proper when he beat Anders Michanek on the last corner. The score now is England 8 after 2 races. England 8, Sweden 4. A 4-point lead, an unexpected early lead for England. And in this one we have on the inside for England, John Louis from Ipswich in the first grid, inside grid. Next to him we have Ben Persson from Cradley in Sweden. Then we have Peter Collins from Bellevue, Manchester. On the far outside, Soren Stockton also from Bellevue, Manchester. Heat 3. And it's Persson that hits the front first. Persson and Collins from Bellevue try the wide outside line. Louis is locked in there. Louis is locked on the inside, but it's Persson, who we saw here in the World Final last year in second place, who loves Empire Stadium. Ben Persson for Sweden. The English pair of Louis and Collins there side by side in second and third place. Persson from Sweden. Persson for Sweden in front, building up a fantastic lead. Persson, then Louis, then Collins. Jostson trying to get back up on terms. But it's Persson for Sweden. Persson from the start, then Louis, then Collins, and at the back we have Jostson. So at the moment the points are divided in this one. Remember, it's 3 for a win, 2 for a second, 1 for a third. So at the moment, with a Swede leading and 2 Englishmen in second and third places, it means this heat is divided 3 points each. They're on their last lap now, and Bernie Persson from Cradley Heath and from Sweden has looked the total master in this one right from the start. He knows Empire Stadium very well indeed after his second place here. Over the line he goes. Second place in the World Final last year. He hasn't forgotten the quickest way round. Ben Persson from Sweden, a very, very easy winner of Heat 3. The points divided 3 to each team, and there we have in the white helmet Bernie Persson, unpopular, some feel, after his second place last year when he ran into my colleague commentator Barry Briggs. But there is Bernie Persson in no trouble at all in that one. Heat 4 coming up. And in this one, England bring in for the first time with the score standing at 11 to England, 4 points to 11 England, Sweden 7. And we have coming in to this one for the first time this evening, the respective number 3s of each side. Eric Bukock there on the inside of your picture there in the red helmet there. Right on the far inside, just practicing a start, we have the Crown Prince of Swedish Speedway, one of their really outstanding riders and favourites for this year's World Championship final, Anders Michanek. So we have Michanek on the inside, next to him Eric Bukock, Tommy Jansen, and on the outside where we saw him make a very good start in Heat 2, we have Malcolm Simmons. Heat 4. It's Michanek for his perfect start, and so is Jansen for Sweden. The Swedes show in front from that one. Michanek and Jansen flew away then, and Simmons is trying the wide outside. Eric Bukock is left again. Eric Bukock is left on the inside, but it's Simmons now going after the Swedes for England. Michanek in command in front, then Jansen. Malcolm Simmons there in third place, trying hard to get back up on terms, but the Swedes really made a beautifully professional game. Eric Bukock in terrible trouble at the back, and it's Sweden in front. Anders Michanek, then Jansen. Simmons hasn't finished trying. Michanek has stretched into a very, very convincing lead. Malcolm Simmons now trying the outside. He's trying to get under him. He's trying to get under Jansen. He's going to go round him here, I think. He's got a lot of drive on there, shoulder to shoulder down that one. Jansen pulls him out, pushes him wide. There's Michanek in front. Simmons still trying the wide outside. There's not much in it between the two, and then Simmons has gone by. Simmons has gone by on the outside. He looks back, he chops him up. Round the outside, a very, very fine professional piece of riding from Malcolm Simmons. He tried for 2 laps on the inside, he couldn't find a hole, so he switched to the outside and he's got by him. and Nass is very healthy indeed as they go over the line. Michenek first, then Simmons, then Janssen. That keeps England in front. A 4-2 for the Swedes. They bring the scores back to within 2 points of England. There's the winner. Anders Michenek made a fantastic flying start from the inside grid and never looked in danger. Malcolm Simmons there just putting his face mask down, kept battling for England, came up, got a vital second place. That could be important later on. But there's the winner, Anders Michenek, a 4-2 heat win for Sweden. Heat 5, and the Swedes narrowing the gap. Just 2 points in it now. England 13, Sweden 11 after 4 races. In Heat 5, we have there on the inside of your picture Peter Collins from England and Bellevue. Next to him we have Hasse Holmqvist in the striped helmet from Oxford and Sweden. In the third grid, John Tiger Louis from Ipswich, and on the far outside, Christer Lofquist from Poole, Sweden. So that's the lineup. Heat 5, Collins, Holmqvist, Louis, Lofquist, just 2 points in it. And let's see if Lofquist can really make another jet-propelled start out of the number 4 grid. He's done it before. Louis there trying a little bit of kidology, a bit of war of nerves going on. Who's going to get in first? Who's going to settle first? Here we go, Heat 5, just 2 points in it. And away they go, and Collins got a terrific start on the inside there. Louis reared a little bit. Collins for England on the inside. The Swedes in second and third places. Louis made a dreadful start. Not a very good first corner, but he's chasing hard after the Swedes. Peter Collins on the inside there, going very, very beautifully indeed. Peter Collins still hopping and bumping about. But what an incredible start that was, because Collins made a terrific start and Louis made a very bad start. So it's Collins in front. We have Lofquist chasing hard after him for Sweden. We have Holmqvist in third place and Louis right at the back. And here comes Lofquist for the Swedes. Collins contains him. Collins seems to know where he is. Collins seems to be very much in command of the situation at the moment. Only 19 from Bellevue, Manchester. One of the really great discoveries in English Speedway. Lofquist trying hard on the inside to get under him. But Collins knows all about that. Shuts the door. No room there, Christer. Try somewhere else, son. Peter Collins now on his last lap, holding back Christer Lofquist. A big gap then between Holmqvist and Louis right at the back, very unexpectedly. Here we go, into the bottom corner, the pit corner here at Wembley. Lofquist drifting hard on the inside. He's not going to catch him. Over the line, a very fine win for Peter Collins, then Lofquist, then Holmqvist. But a very interesting start. It all really happened at the start of that one. I'll be interested to hear what Barry Briggs says about the start of Heat 5.
Young Peter Collins on number 1 here. The first race he was a little bit erratic and he missed the start, but this one here, the green light is right on the outside of the picture, and I got the feeling that Collins just took a chance on that green light. As soon as the green light flashed, he moved off, and look at him pulling out there. He moved just that fraction of a second. You've only got to drop the clutch that little bit before the others, and as you can see, he's got a clear 2 or 3 length lead going into the corner, and what a great prospect this boy is. If he's not World Championship material, I'll go he. And this race he kept right on the inside, whereas the first race he was all over the track, but that was only his first race here, and he just went on to win a marvellous race, keeping out that good rider Christer Lofquist.
The score, England 16, Sweden 14. Only 2 points in it after 5 interesting races in the Internations Tournament final. In this one we have there on the far outside the familiar figure digging up the track of Ray Wilson of Leicester in England. Wilson in the outside grid. Next to him it looks like a change from Sweden. It looks very much like a change from Sweden, but it should be Ollie Nygren in the yellow helmet. Next to him we have Martin Ashby, and on the inside we have Michenek. No, it is in fact Nygren. There is no change from Sweden. We have Michenek on the inside, then Ashby, then Nygren on the outside, Ray Wilson. And away they go. Michenek's made another jet-propelled start, and Nygren trying desperately hard to get in between the two Englishmen. Wilson in a bit of trouble there. And here comes Martin Ashby through in third place, so it's Michenek in front for Sweden. Wilson going after him. Ashby's come belting through into third place, so the Swedes lead again in the shape of Anders Michenek sliding into this bottom corner. Wilson chasing hard. Wilson chasing hard. In third place Ashby, right at the back Nygren, a little bit out of his depth tonight. So Michenek leads for Sweden. In second place Ray Wilson. In third place Martin Ashby. And what a fantastic piece of starting that was again from Michenek. His real starting, his reflexes, his reactions, his build up to the first corner really are something out of this world. Anders Michenek now stretching his limbs, flexing his muscles, building up a big lead. He's on his last lap. Wilson seems to have given up the ghost for England in second place, but still the scores will be divided in this race, and England will hang on to this narrow 2-point lead. Michenek leads for Sweden by a mile. Michenek absolutely in command. There Wilson. There goes Anders Michenek. Is this the Swede that's going to win the world title this year? Who knows? He looks pretty good at Wembley tonight. So, Michanek first for Sweden, then Wilson for England. In third place, Ashby, 3 points to each side, points divided, still only 2 points in it. Anders Michanek, very calm, unruffled, takes his goggles off, no dirt at all. You don't get dirt when you're in front, and Anders Michanek was in front from start to finish. And so heat 7, with England still just 2 points, their noses in front, 2 points in front. England in this one have Malcolm Simmons there, who has won a race and finished a very fine second in another. Malcolm Simmons on the inside there in the blue helmet. Next to him we have in the yellow helmet for Sweden, the striped yellow and black helmet, Soren Stjostin. Then we have Erik Bukock, a very disappointing run in his first one. Last in his first race, Erik Bukock in the third grid. And on the outside, we have Bernie Persson, who made a very fine start to his first ride. So it's Simmons, Stjostin, Bukock, and on the outside, Persson. Heat 7, and it's Persson that's made the jump. Persson from the outside. Stjostin and Simmons locked together in second place. Malcolm Simmons, I think, is going to shut the door on Stjostin around the outside. He has. Erik Bukock's been left again at the start. So it's Persson for Sweden, then Simmons, then Stjostin, and at the back, Erik Bukock battling to get that on terms. Two very, very bad starts from Bukock, and he's struggling. But the Swedes are now looking a bit livelier. The Swedes in front through Bernie Persson. Persson going through your picture now in front. Next to him, Simmons. Then the little figure of Soren Stjostin going sideways on the dust flying on the pit corner. And Erik Bukock tailed off at the back. Persson for Sweden. Then Simmons. Then Stjostin. At the moment, the scores in this race have been a 4-2 for Sweden, which will bring the scores back level almost directly on the halfway stage of this match. So England, having built up quite a nice early lead, have now lost it, providing the positions don't change in this one. So it's Bernie Persson from Sweden in front, again from start to finish. He was second in the world final here last year. He certainly knows his way around Empire Stadium, Wembley. He's been in no trouble at all. There he goes in the white helmet, trying to look over his shoulder. There's nobody there. But Malcolm Simmons, to his credit, didn't stop trying. Persson for Sweden first, then Simmons. In third place, Stjostin. A 4-2 heat win advantage for the Swedes, who now pull back level in the final of the international tournament. 4-2 for Sweden, a win for Persson. We're back on all square. So there we are after 7 races, exactly at the halfway stage of this international tournament final from Wembley. The scores level at 21 all, 21 to each team. So it's building up again. This is almost a replica of the fixture we saw on ITV from Sheffield in the tournament qualifying league table, when it was touch and go all the way along the line until the very last corner of the last lap. Are we going to see history repeat itself? It certainly could be that way. So there we have the blonde curls of Terry Betts of England poking out under his crash helmet there. Terry, his second outing of the evening. A very, very strong, reliable sort of man to have in reserve. Terry Betts from Kings Lynn. On the outside of the picture, just with his arms folded there, we have Tommy Jansen from the young man from Wimbledon Dons, a very big favourite down there with the girls at Plough Lane, a bit of a teeny bopper idol. Tommy Jansen. Here we go again then. Terry Betts coming out. Terry will go to the outside with the very fast outside tonight. We've seen lots of winners coming flying out from the outside. Terry Betts on the outside. Next to him, we'll have Hasse Holmqvist. Then in the grid number 2, we'll have Martin Ashby. On the inside, we have Tommy Jansen. Tonight, it's looked as though the grids, with all the importance at the start, are number 1 and number 4. Let's have a look now with the scores level on heat 8 to see what's going to happen in this one. Watch grids 1 and 4. They seem to be the fastest, but in Speedway, anything can happen. So it's Jansen and Betts on the lanes to watch. But then again, Ashby and Holmqvist could do the impossible. Here we go, and indeed it was Holmqvist out of 3 that made the jump. Betts got a good one from the outside. Betts trying very, very hard around the outside, giving it all screwed on, but he lost a bit of ground there. Terry Betts trying on the outside, but Holmqvist made the jump from number 3. Here goes Terry again, round the boards. Terry Betts screwing it on, trying very hard, and it looks like Ashby trying hard to get under Jansen, but Betts has gone down the home straight there, round the outside of Holmqvist. Betts in front for the Lions. Betts, then Holmqvist, then Jansen. Terry Betts tried so very hard to get round the outside and did it in the end. This is his style. This is the style of this young blonde bombshell from Kings Lynn. He doesn't really know much about the great finesse of the business, but he does keep it screwed on. Terry Betts for England. The Swedes tucked neatly and convenient into second and third place. Holmqvist in second place, then Jansen. Martin Ashby is still fighting at the back. We can't seem to get any ground at all on this third place Swede, but Terry Betts is in front and the Union Jack is waving gaily for England. They're on the last lap on the last lap. Terry Betts goes over the line there in front for Britain. A very, very fine piece of determined riding on the first couple of laps from Terry, who really got round the outside of Holmquist, who gated first. Terry Betts, number 7 on his back, a very vital and beautifully timed heat win for the Lions.
And here's Hasse Holmquist on the inside of the track with a white helmet, and Terry Betts right on the outside of him. A very unusual manoeuvre for Wembley. It's better to go up the inside, but here's Betts going right round the outside of Holmquist. Holmquist hugging the line. There's Betts now pulling the bike back to get a straight drive down the straight. It looks as though he might just make it, but Holmquist has straightened up, and Holmquist once again just gets his nose ahead, but Betts gets a great deal of traction. You can see how far Betts is sitting on the back of the machine. He's right on the back mudguard. He's got in front of Holmquist now, and he's pulled back down to the inside, and he's got the control of the race and goes on to win it with Converse second.
And so Heat 9 with the scores still level at 24 points to each side. Heat 9, an important one, this one, because we have John Louis for England on the inside. Next to him we have unbeaten so far Anders Michenek from Sweden. In grid 3, just coming into the outside of your frame there, we have Peter Collins from Bellevue, a Tiger all night. And the Swedish team manager, Christer Bergström, pulls an important reserve change here. He's dropped the veteran of the squad, Ollie Nygren, who seemed a little bit out of depth there, and brought in young Tommy Jansen in the yellow and black helmet, striped helmet on the outside. So the Swedes really throwing down the gauntlet now. The Swedes really fancy they can pull it away here. Michenek has been really so much in command tonight. Can this young English pair contain this fine Swedish rider? Here we go, Heat 9. Away they're going. Collins got a terrific start in 3. Collins got a start in 3. Louis got a terrible knock from Michenek as they went into the corner, but it's Peter Collins for England in front of Michenek. Louis got a terrific knock on the first corner, and it's Collins for England. Louis trying the wide open spaces on the outside to try and find some traction, can find none, and it's Michenek for Sweden going after Collins. Peter Collins, the 19-year-old from Bellevue, Manchester, out in front, hopping, bumping, ducking and diving about in front there, but still keeping an awful lot of motor on and holding back Anders Michenek. Collins for England, then Michenek, then Jansen, John Louis trying hard to get back on terms, but it's the leading pair here where all the fun and excitement is, because Michenek's making a big effort. Michenek's making a big effort to get up on the inside. Collins seems to be able to read his mind, chops back, leaves him no room, sprays him with dirt, keeps in control. Then here comes Michenek again. Michenek trying to dive through on the inside. Collins has held him again on this last lap now, and it's on the last corner, and here comes Michenek again to try and dive through on the inside. He misses the corner just slightly, and Collins is going to meet him. Collins is going to meet the mighty Swede over the line. The crowd are rising in pursuit of this young Manchester boy. A very fine piece of riding from Peter Collins. This very large crowd here at Wembley really rising to him. You can see just how many people, they loved that race, because Peter Collins hopped out in front of Michenek, kept him at the back, showed him a back wheel beautifully right the way around 4 laps. So England stay level with the Swedes thanks to this man here, Peter Collins, a 3 points all, thanks to that fine win by Peter Collins. Just 4 races to go, and that's the state of the parties. England 27, Sweden 27. It can go either way still, and now the English team manager Len Silver is playing what he hopes will be his trump card, because he's bringing Terry Betts, his reserve, who won a race, his last race, round the outside. Terry Betts comes in place of Martin Ashby in the blue helmet there in grid number 2, but on the inside a formidable opponent, Bernie Persson, unbeaten for Sweden so far in the white helmet. Bernd Persson from Sweden on the inside, then Betts. Next to him we have Soren Stjoston on the outside. England skipper Ray Wilson still poking about, nosing about, trying to find just a little bit of extra traction on the outside there. So a very important heat 10. And away they go, and Betts looked to me as though he got the jump. Betts got the jump. Persson's coming under him very hard, but it's Betts in front. Then Persson, Wilson trying the outside, but Stjoston's coming chopped through on the inside. And Terry Betts for England in front. Then Persson, Wilson in terrible trouble there when he tried to hook back. So it's again England in front, then the 2 Swedes, and Wilson surprisingly at the back, but I don't think he's stopped fighting yet. Terry Betts with number 7 on his back in front. Persson going after him. Well, we saw Anders Michenek, the other mighty Swede, beaten in the last race, and now Terry Betts has got time to look back to see where Bernie Persson is. He's about 5 lengths behind him, so it's Terry Betts, the reserve that manager Silver brought in, coming up with the goodies, and Wilson is trying very, very hard to get back onto Stjoston's back wheel. He hasn't finished fighting by any means, and England badly need this 3rd place if Wilson can get up. Terry Betts in front. I don't think Persson's going to catch him on the last lap now. Terry Betts in front for England. Wilson trying the hard outside line, can't do it, but it's Betts in front. Betts flicking his goggles up. Betts in front for England, then Pearson, and Wilson then despairingly trying to come back on terms with Stoston. He's not going to make it, so over the line the scores are going to stay level. Terry Betts, the trump card that paid off for England. A win for Terry. In second place, Bernd Pearson. In third place, his partner from Sweden, Soren Stoston. The points are still level, still anything can happen. Terry Betts really came up with the goods then for England, but it's really very tight and building up to another fantastic climax. Terry Betts from Kings Lynn, his second race on the trot. The big effort. England looks to Terry at the moment, and they look in this one, heat 11, with just 3 races remaining to Kings Lynn. This really is Kings Lynn versus Sweden, because we have on the inside Malcolm Simmons, the England reserve tonight, and of course a member of the Kings Lynn Stars up there in Saddlebow Road at East Anglia. Malcolm on the inside looking around for his partner Terry Betts, who's going to go into the third grid there. Terry just coming in, the last one in line there. But we have for Sweden, next to him, next on the inside we have Christer Lofquist, and on the far outside, I beg your pardon, we have Hasse Holmqvist, on the far outside we have Lofquist. So it's Simmons, Holmqvist, Betts, Lofquist. The two Quist, the commentator's nightmare, heat 11. And away they go, and Betts has made another terrific start, and so Simmons comes through on the inside, but Lofquist for Sweden going very, very wide indeed. But it's England in front. England in front with Betts showing in front with another fantastic start. Betts, then Lofquist, then Simmons trying to come very hard under Lofquist there into second place. But it's England now narrowly in front. England through Betts, then Lofquist, then Simmons, and it's Holmqvist held up at the back, and they're almost in line of rest there, and Lofquist making a very, very big effort to get up the inside of Terry Betts. Terry drifting a little bit dangerously there. Terry in front for England. Lofquist again comes right up. Terry chops back on him. They're having a really, really big dice, here. Terry leaves a lot of room on the inside, but he seems to have shut the door there satisfactorily. Terry Betts for England and Kingsley in front. Lofquist now is trying to find some grip round the outside. Time to look back. Malcolm Simmons is still in contention. They're on the last lap now, and Terry again looks like pulling it really out of the fire for England. Here comes Lofquist again round the boys. Terry's drifted him out there. He seemed to know where he was going. He's looking for him. He knows that effort's going to come on this corner. Just keep it nice and steady, Terry. He's trying to get under you on the inside. He's going to do it, I think. Terry goes over first. What was that one? My goodness me, that was close. Lofquist made a colossal effort. It had to happen. Terry seemed to be looking for him. I wouldn't like to say who won that one. It's up to the ACU referee. Very, very close indeed. We know Simmons was in third place. What's the referee going to say? The drama now really building up here at Wembley. Well, there he is, the ACU referee Arthur Humphrey, and he's an Englishman, has declared that Lofquist's effort just got him home. The crowd didn't like it, but he's the man with the whistle. Christer Lofquist has kept Sweden level with England there with a really fantastic last bend effort. 33 all, 2 to go, still levels your devils. Anything can happen, but the Swedes really should thank their lucky stars for Christer Lofquist in that one. The plundering and looting should start now. On the inside we have Anders Michanek from Sweden. Next to him, England skipper Ray Wilson. Then we have Bernie Pearson from Sweden on the outside, Collins. The top Swedish pair against this pair of young Englishmen, and the scores level. You could not ask for more drama. This one is really going to be a vital one, because the Swedes can really put themselves in an unattainable position if they get a first and second here. So much depends on the English pairing here. And away they go, and Collins has got a terrific start on the outside, but Michanek has really come snaking out of the inside grid, and it's Michanek in front, and the English pair have tucked in behind him. Michanek in front, then Collins, then Wilson, Pearson untypically at the back. They're all in a very, very big queue up there, but it's Michanek who made another fantastic start from the inside. Michanek for Sweden, then Collins, then Wilson, then Pearson surprisingly at the back and seems to be losing ground. So the scores will still stay level, and it will all be on the last one if they keep in these conditions. And the crowd really now beginning to start to buzz and chat. Michanek first, the English pair. Pearson, a bit of a surprise here, because Bernie Pearson just has not been competitive. Anders Michanek, though, has been supremely competitive right from the start. He flew out there. Collins made a good start on the outside, but Michanek just kept everything going on the inside. Round the first corner first, and at Wembley, that's all important. At this level of World Speedway, they don't make mistakes, and if you get that flying start, it makes an awful lot of difference. So there goes Anders Michanek over the line, a win for Sweden, but the English pairing, thankfully, if you're an Englishman, tapped into second and third positions. Again, a drawn race. Again, the scores are level. Again, it's all on the last race. Could you ask for more? Michanek has done his bit for Sweden. The English pairing have done their bit. Now it's all on the vital, fateful Heat 13. You can almost hear a pin drop in Wembley now, except for the bikes, the roaring of the bikes, a crowd of silence. It's all on this one, Heat 13. The gate, the start is going to be so vital. Let's watch Heat 13. Simmons on the inside, then Lofqvist, then Betsson on the far outside, Soren Josten. The last race of the tournament final, and away they go, and the Swedes seem to have got it. The Swedes, it's Lofqvist who's made the start. Josten trying a very, very big outside drive. Betsson second place, Simmons through on the inside, I think. Yes, the English pair have got through, but it's Lofqvist in front. Lofqvist in front, then Betsson, then Simmons, and Josten at the back. It's going to be a draw. It looks like it's going to be a draw unless something miraculous happens here. The English pairing pumping and fighting each other there, trying to hold back. I think they're going to let Lofqvist go. They're letting Lofqvist go. They're going to try and hold out Josten. Lofqvist in front. Josten now coming up, making a big effort after this Kingsland pair. The English pair have let the winner go. They've let Lofqvist go on. They're concentrating on holding out Josten. This match will end in a draw, and then both team managers will have to nominate their top rider for a sudden death match race. They're on the last lap now. They're on the last lap. The Kingsland pairing still holding back Josten. Josten coming up for an effort now. He's not that far behind. They certainly can't afford to muck about. Come on, lads. Holding back. Lofqvist a mile in front. The Kingsland pairing with all the understanding they've built up. Lofqvist over the line. He's delighted. The English pair in second and third. That means the tournament final has ended in a draw, 39 points all. Lofqvist, great effort before when he beat Betts, has done the trick for Sweden, and that means really now we have the storybook end to the international tournament, because both team managers must now nominate one rider for a match race to decide the tournament. Christer Lofqvist the winner, and it's all still boiling up. The crowd buzzing with expectancy. Never before has an international series ended so dramatically. A match race between two riders, the whole fate of the tournament now only 70 seconds away. They've been riding for 19 days. It's been the toughest tournament World Speedway has ever known, and now it all rests on just two men. One Swede, one Englishman. Who's it going to be? I wonder, Barry, who would you choose?
I think it's a very, very difficult decision. I think that Betts and Simmons were on top form tonight. Wilson seems fast enough when he gets out of the start, but I personally would take a little bit of a chance on young Collins. He's already put it across Michanek once. If he gated him, I think he's fast enough to hold Michanek there, and I think that he would be my choice. A very unusual choice, but I am glad I'm not Leighton Silver.
It's Michanek for Sweden, and it's Collins for England. Barry, how do you see this one working out?
Well, obviously the start's going to be very, very important, but Mitch has got everything for him just going to the first corner. But if Collins breaks with him, I would like to see Collins have the big burn round the outside. There seems to be a little bit of grip round the outside. If Michanek makes a start, he's going to hold down on the inside, and I think Collins may waste his time up the inside, but if Michanek starts, I'd like to see Collins have a burn around the outside of him.
Well, there we have the young man whom all England looks to at this moment in time, particularly if you're a Speedway fan. Peter Collins, only 19, from Bellevue, Manchester, the man that team manager Len Silver there on the left of your frame has selected to carry England's chances of winning the Inter-Nations Tournament final. His opponent, Anders Michanek, and Collins has won the toss for gate positions. Now what's he going to take? Really, Len Silver obviously starting his chat, his inspirational chat. Barry, what would be Len telling Peter to do at this moment?
I would think they're deciding what gating position they'll take, Dave. They're not quite sure what to do, but personally I think I'd start on the inside of Michanek on this one.
Well, there we have Anders Michanek from Sweden. By any form book, he must be the man to win this one, but Collins has beaten him in the match. We saw him a fortnight ago on ITV winning the match for England when England met Sweden at Sheffield in the tournament league table. on the last bend of the last lap. He beat Michnik. Perhaps this is some psychology from manager Len Silver, we don't know. We just certainly know this is going to be 70 seconds of fantastic speedway racing, with so much depending on this start. Collins on the inside, only 19 in his first big season, his first big Wembley occasion. Michnik in the white helmet. Let's watch the start. And away they go, and it's Collins who's made the start. Collins has made the jump, and Michnik trying very hard to come under, but he's shut the door on him. And it's Collins in front for the Lions. Collins in front for the Lions. And Michnik trying so hard to get up under him. Peter Collins from Bellevue and from England. Michnik is far from finished. He's on his back wheel there just for a second. He's trying the outside now. Oh, look at him go. He's switched position to try and come under him again now. Has he done him? Oh, and he's gone straight into him and knocks him down there. Well, what's happened there? Well, Collins certainly got a knock from Michnik there. Michnik switched positions. He came under him very, very hard indeed. And he's certainly got a knock from him. The race goes on. The match race goes on with only one starter, and the crowd do not like that one little bit. The crowd do not like that one little bit. What is happening? The race has been stopped. The race has been stopped, has it? Absolute drama. Absolute drama. Absolute chaos at the moment. Michnik keeps going. Wilson, the England skipper. The flags are out. There's the exclusion flag. It looks to me, that looked to me like the exclusion flag. There's absolute panic in the pitch. Nobody knows what's happened. Barry, how did you see that one?
Now this is the start of where the trouble started. Michnik is up the inside. He dives underneath Collins coming into the corner. Collins is on the outside. Michnik hasn't tried to turn at all. He's got underneath Collins. He's made a very late turn. He's clipped the front of Collins' machine, and he's moved out into the middle of the track. And I would say, yes, Angus, you're the fault there, my boy.
And Barry, you're dead right. The ACU referee Arthur Humphreys has disqualified the rider in white for unfair riding, Anders Michnik, and now the tantrums are going to start in the pits. Now we can see the Swedish drama. The Swedish drama there. I can see their team manager or one of their officials there. That looks like Charles Ringblom right at the back end of your frame there. You can see his head nodding away. Mr. Speedway in Sweden, obviously very, very unhappy about that decision. What a tragedy. What a way to end a fantastic tournament. But I'm sure that is what's going to happen. I'm sure that England are going to win this on default. There's Michnik, and Michnik says, I just kept going. He's trying to explain himself. But the referee has excluded him. Anders, you went over the top, son. And that means that England have won the international tournament sponsored by the Daily Mirror. And really and truly, Barry, he really had to have a go. That's a bit unlucky and a tragic end to such a fine tournament. Here they come, the winning side in the Daily Mirror International Tournament.